Hello, everybody. This is Wesley from Marlee Paranormal and John Johan from Red Cell Paranormal. How you guys doing tonight?
How's everybody doing?
So, John and I were just talking while we are offline. We were using the K2. We're testing out the spirit boxes that we have with us today. I've got a PSB7 here, and John's got his as well. I just would drop mine on the floor. But yeah, we were using the K2. It's been going off a bit there. But it seems every time I turn away, it kind of blinks.
I just saw something. Either you look like you shot out of this sucker. Mark your time, and then that way you can go back a little bit later. And then, like right at the beginning, it looked like something went back from there. I don't know. Maybe it might have been the cherry from your cigarette. Is a bit of a delay, maybe, but
yeah, it could have been.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, because it could have been just a movement, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to hype everybody up, and then I'll debunk something right away, kind of deal. So
yeah. Well, we know it's right at the beginning of the video, so
yeah.
Anyways, before we came on, we were talking about Amy Allen and how she sends like a list of people or gives people a list of things to do after she's done and everything.
Yeah. During the reveal of the episode, and when she, reveals all of her findings and how they match up with what Steve finds, and all of that stuff, and then they always show them the scary sketches, or they might not be scary, they might whatever the sketch is, but a lot of times they're kind of scary. And then in the Alcatraz prison sketch, the Alcatraz prison sketch was actually dead on for Al Capone. And I don't know how she didn't know who Al Capone was. I'm like, were you living on rock all these years?
No, yeah, I do not know that guy.
Yeah, but all I was saying was that a lot of people, it's like, oh, they only gave her 3 things to do or something, and it's like for a while, I'm a YouTube guy. I love researching on YouTube, so I was disappointed lately to see a few channels get censored because they've been talking about the Parkland shooting not being, maybe being a false flag or whatever, and so they were automatically removed from YouTube just because they had even dared to mention that, maybe this, and anyways, but that's where I was, I was getting this anyway. So anyway, I'm going back and I was researching, Amy Allen and just seeing if she'd done any other interviews or anything besides the, the dead files. And she'd done Q&A at a couple of colleges and so or universities. And they're like only a half hour long, 40 minutes. You can find them on YouTube. There's a couple that she's done. And the one of the questions always was, what do you really give these people, for help and stuff like that? And then she said, well, for time and constraints, I mean, you are on a TV show, right? So she says, I actually give them, or Amy gives them, like, and I have talked to Amy Allen on Twitter, and I am friendly, a follower of hers, and that we do follow each other. And I actually talked with her in the past over Twitter. She'd be graciously nice enough to reply to a couple of my tweets.
Oh,
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
It is.
And in these Q&As though, she always says she leaves a good laundry list of about 50 things to do for each client, for each household when she leaves for these cases, on a case by case basis, but it's always a large list. And for time reasons, they edit it down, you know what I mean? So not every single thing makes it off the editing room floor, so to speak. Yeah. And that's why it seems like there's not like, maybe, like there's not so much that can be done, or, in certain cases where you have to find some type of exotic practitioner, like in hoodoo, magic and stuff like that, or whatever. Where it might cost some money and that, but everything else is, she leaves a big long list, and that's so yeah, that's one of the reasons why you don't see her, but when you watch these things, then she delves into it a lot more because, well, I guess, they're probably paid speaking tour engagements or whatever, but I mean, hell, she's, in my opinion, she's one of the true psychics, so, and I I really like what she's saying, and I've, looked into her credibility and that, and she seems very credible. And I mean, I don't think they'd have a TV show. I mean, it's kind of weird, but some people would hate me for saying this, but I don't think they'd have a TV show with a bunk psychic on it. Even
Hmm.
though that has happened in the past. But yeah, no, I just like people have always asked me like, oh, why do you believe it? She only tells them to do like three things all the time, and it's like, well, no, here, watch this on YouTube.
Hmm.
And so yeah, it's just like I've been watching this guy named C.W. Chanter. And I've, he's in the kind of like the alt right scene or whatever, but I wouldn't say he's like an alt right, like ultra conservative neocon guy or whatever. He just sort of always says, like, there are people out there that are, he says there's 20%. If you make a video, you've got 20% of the people that are going to call you this,
Hmm.
20% of people that are going to retain the information, and then you're going to have 50% of the rest of them all calling you a disinfo shill, or that you hate Israelites, or that you whatever. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? They're going to, try and paint you as something. And so always do your research and your due diligence. Don't just listen to what I hear you have to say and think that we are
Yeah.
doctors or major authorities on the subjects or whatever.
Hmm.
And so I always encourage everybody to do their own research.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, nobody can claim themselves to be like, a complete 100% expert in this field at all, just because there's so
No,
many. Well, there's so much unknown about it.
exactly. Oh, it went off again. If there's anybody in chat, count off. Like every time you see that the little yellow light there go off, count it off in chat. Like every time you guys see it go off, just say it went off. And that way
Yep.
we'll have it on the broadcast so we can go back on the time codes.
Yeah,
Because
and
this
that
thing's
is
gone
one
off.
for. This is the first time here for it
This
going off.
thing's gone off. We were talking off air for a while before, and this thing's gone off like 5 times on me already. And there was an orb that went behind Wes's back, and it wasn't cigarette smoke. He wasn't smoking at the time or anything, and it was like a white orb that went behind him. And I was like, "There's an orb behind you." I thought we were broadcasting, and so I was hoping that stuff would have been on, but it wasn't. But and then oh, it's gone twice now. One, two, it went, and we provoked. Wes used a little bit of provocation,
Yeah, yeah,
and then as soon as he turned his back, it just
yeah.
slightly flashed yellow.
As soon as I turned
And
my back, it was like it was playing some kind of game. Like every
yeah,
time I look at it, it wouldn't go off. But if I turned my
yeah,
back like this, it would.
and
It,
yeah. And if it's really true that we can transmit spirits through electronic means, and Mr. Grant's at your house right now, I
oh
have,
God.
I'm gonna invite him to come home, man. Trust me. I'll tell him to come back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That could
yeah,
make some things interesting here. But
yeah.
speaking of
No,
interesting, I got Darlene salt rock, and it's supposed to actually like a salt rock lamp, and those
yeah,
things are supposed to reduce EMF fields, so electromagnetic fields. So it might reduce that a little bit in her room there.
that's
Um,
cool.
but be interesting to see if that's the case or not. I don't know how the heck you would test it though. As I guess you, yeah, I guess an EMF meter maybe, but
Build like what is it? A Faraday cage that produces EMF or whatever it is.
yeah.
I think it's a Faraday cage or something, and it produces it, or I don't know if it produces or
Well, that's
suppresses
that's
it.
that's the absolute last thing I want to do in her room, especially
Yeah,
with.
no, I know that, but I was just saying, like a way to test it would be to put it in an abnormally an area that even has naturally large EMF to it, like an area rich in a certain mineral, like
Yeah.
quartz or whatever kind of thing, because you could always look at also the way the way that your electronics go and stuff like that. You could live in what's called a fear cage.
Hmm.
And what that is like you're so bombarded by EMF that you literally believe that you are haunted
Hmm.
because you're getting hit with so much EMF that your brain basically produces it. And it's called a fear cage because, like, while you're in any investigator goes in and they're going to go, there's definitely something here.
Hmm.
And then I've seen an episode of Paranormal State back in the day, back when
Hmm.
Ryan Buell was good
Yeah,
and
yeah.
fine and shit.
It
And
wasn't a.
Sergey said it
Yeah.
was they were living in an the fear cage because they were all in high levels of EMF all around the house. it wasn't in just the one area. It was all over the place. High EMF, and they classified it as something called a fear cage. And I
Yep.
brought that up, back, before, time and time again, and many people, and nobody's ever said, oh, well, it's called this or it's called that. So I just simply call that a fear cage, and
Yep.
that's something natural that can cause what you would think is a completely crazy causation of paranormal phenomena activity going on in the home.
Yep. I've heard
But
it called that on
it's
ghost
natural.
hunters as well. They've used that term.
Yep. Yes, sir. So, I mean, and that'd be one of the only ways to test something like that, unless you have, lab conditions. But yeah, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I know. We don't know until we truly know. And, I mean, one guy that's going to know now is Godspeed and rest in peace to Art Bell. He
Yes.
passed away just last week there.
Yeah, just last
And
week. Unfortunately, one of
so
the biggest, well,
the
pioneer in
pretty much,
paranormal
yeah,
radio, really.
the pioneer for paranormal radio. I mean, him and George Noory had their differences, but you can go and listen to the Art Bell death notice. And Noory he starts crying during it, and he's got to compose him. So you hear him light a cigarette, and so now it's Noory and Jimmy Church running, I guess, what do you call it? Art did Dark Matter by himself, I think it was. So I'm not sure if he brought them in on it, but anyways, so that was his own podcast, and yeah. So he's gone now. He's beyond
Yeah,
the beyond, man.
he is.
So rest in
Yeah.
peace to Art Bell. But I mean, I was listening to all of his old Halloween Ghost to Ghost AMs where people would call in their paranormal experiences, and the Antichrist lines were people that were supposed that thought they were the Antichrist could call in and
Hmm.
talk to him, and also time travelers. And you just get a good laugh out of some of the people that call in, and then there's the occasional guy that calls in that sounds believable, with like a really deep voice or a deep laugh, and
Hmm.
it's kind of funny, you know what I mean? You'd always kind of treat him with a grain of salt. And Art Bell just has a special place in my heart because when I was a boy, and it went yellow, I think, for just half a second. But
What did
anyways,
it?
when I was a boy, yeah, my grandmother, when I was getting older, I'd go upstairs to go to sleep up in the room, and I didn't like being by myself yet or whatever, so she'd give me the radio, and she knew I loved UFOs and that back when I was a kid, so she'd turn it to coast. And I would listen to Art Bell while I was falling asleep. And I don't know how she got what station she picked them off of that he bounced off of into Canada. I
Hmm.
know there's a few of them, but I remember sitting there on Saturday nights and I would listen to Art Bell.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, so it was just a thing that I remember listening. I'd put the radio underneath my pillow and lay there and just lay all night long and sometimes stay up till 5 in the morning just listening. And I mean, by that point his show would basically be done, and I just
Hmm.
be sitting blasting, like, wow, freaked out or whatever. And I just had a lot of good times listening to him. So kind of sucked to see that he went. He's only 79 or 70
Yeah.
74 or 79, so that's still kind of relatively young, and
Yeah.
but he was a big smoker and everything, so but yeah, so that's a one loss. And Mitzi Shore passed away too,
Yeah.
the
That's
mom,
right.
Pauly Shore, and she ran a comedy store for how many years that produced
Hmm.
great comics like Joe Rogan, and Joey Diaz is out of there now, and so many, Tony Hinchcliffe, and so many guys, Sam
Yeah.
Tripoli, and just so many people. Pauly Shore himself, everybody. So Paul Mooney, Dave Chappelle. I mean, oh, you name it, they've been in there. So
Yeah.
Ralphie May, who's also dead, but it's been a tough week in a couple of different circles for me. So
Yeah.
well, influential people passing away, eh? And
Yeah.
it was really weird because when I did my session, like I was telling you with the 12,587, how the cycling was stopping on it, right?
Yeah.
And so when I talked to Louis, because I can't, who was it again? In the chat there, they were telling me that It's a flaw. It's a flaw in the hack of the 587 that sometimes it'll stop and it's just a flaw
Yeah,
in
and
the
this.
hack. And then so Louis goes, no, 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 it's not a flaw in the hack. It stops if it doesn't receive the radio signal. So it's like if the signal from a station is weak, it stops and then it focuses in on it, and that's why the cycling stops.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody, because the guy said he was happy he got rid of his, and that's why, because of a faulty hack, and 587s aren't all what they're cracked out to be, and whatever. And so actually, no, Louis corrected me because I asked him point blank, and because he had gifted mine, he's gifted mine to me, eh? And
Mm-hmm.
so. And Louis said, "No, no, no, no. This is what's really going on." And I believe Louis, and
Mm-hmm.
so
We see them all
that
stop. I've seen lots of
that
that model stop. Just just thought stop for
yeah.
wherever.
But mine stopped three times, and the first time it stopped, it said, "It's you sound like a broken record." You know,
Yeah,
that's what the person on the radio station was saying,
yeah.
and you know what I mean. So I was like, maybe it is a spirit because the way I do my sessions, like, is there anybody that wants to communicate? You know, I ask kind of the standard questions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I do sound like a broken record, you know, and so I thought that was just kind of funny. You know what I mean? And just the whole why Mitzi Shore even ties in was because literally like a day or two before her death, I said, watch, when Mitzi Shore passes away, she's gonna sit in that chair of hers because everybody talks about Mitzi's chair in the crowd, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Where she would sit. And I said she's gonna probably still be in that chair when she passes away. And then she passed away, and my girlfriend was like, hey, didn't weren't you just talking about her? You know, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, yeah, and I was like, I spoke too soon, I
Yeah.
didn't wish her ill or anything, but she was very sick for a long time, so.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird the synchronicity about that. Like, I'm talking about her haunting this place when she passes, and 2 days later she finally
Mm.
passes away. I say finally just because she was really sick for a long time, and so like some people consider it a blessing, I guess. It depends on how people look at things. So, but yeah, I just
Oh
found
yeah,
it.
she's not sick anymore.
And
We'd hope.
I'm not trying to say she appeared in my session or anything, because if I am saying that, then you should like not partner with me and fire me right now, and
Not
tell me that I'm an idiot and throw me off the show because I'm not gonna pull any huff stunt. You know what I
no,
mean? But
not at all.
no, and no, no, no. But
Nobody
I
should
just,
ever do that as
I,
soon as someone passes away. Do a session or try to
yeah,
do any form of communication with someone
no,
who's recently passed. It's completely
no.
disrespectful.
I know Paulie Shore doesn't know me, and none of these guys know me, but I respect their mother, and I respect these people way too much to ever do something like that with any celebrity ever, 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 ever that has just passed away or anything like that.
And I've heard a few people say it. That how do you know that who you're communicating, who you're trying to communicate
Exactly.
with, is who you're trying to communicate with in that case? And how do you know it's not just radio bleed because of the fact
Exactly.
that it's going to be all over the radio when something like that happens when someone famous passes away?
I was watching a show and they had a demonologist on there, and I forget the guy's name now, but he was like, "I totally don't believe it," because I had asked a question, and so Noreen answered it for me. She was like, and he goes, "I totally don't believe in spirit boxes. What you think you're hearing is a spirit. It's actually noise from the other stations put together." And I right during that I wrote in the chat, "That's called pareidolia." What do
Mm-hmm.
you actually think about the actual messages that come through? And he just refused to talk about them. And I was like, oh, the changing of the guard is happening. Like, I mean, I respect a lot of these old salts for, bringing some of the investigative ways that they brought in with the old tape players and all that kind of stuff and manual testing and everything else. But it's like, we have new tools now in today's ITC world. And, whether
Yeah,
you're a demonologist who's an old salt or you're a new guy, you should be, embracing these tools and using them to whether if you can't afford them, you
yeah,
can't afford them. And I've been there, bro. Trust me. If it wasn't for Louis Fisk, being nice and donating these boxes to me, I wouldn't have these other two, the PSP 7 and then the 12587. So,
yeah.
and
That's
then I
true.
got the 21 2125. So, and then those are my three boxes, and so
Yeah.
and I'm lucky, I'm fortunate, and I got the speakers too. So yeah, I'm a lucky person. And I always said, like, when I pick up, I'm gonna eventually go out there and pick up, like, and then buy through somebody in the community, so that way somebody in our community, like, Bob Wagner or something, like, buy a Wagner box, and
Hmm.
then so everybody knows it's a great box and all that too, or maybe buy it through Time Lord, whatever.
Yeah.
And that way I can support somebody in our community, and then also use it as a Canadian ghost box,
Yeah.
community ghost box, so I can mail it to somebody and they could use it in post sessions and stuff. And then, when they're done, mail it back, and then I can mail it to somebody else. And like that's what I'm considering anyway. Once I have some money to spare in that to be able to do something like that, just
Hmm.
to kind of pay forward everything, what everybody's prayers for me in the last year,
Yeah.
and donations and stuff like that. Because I mean, I wasn't eating for days at a time and stuff like that, and it's just like the least I can do to say thank you is send out some art and, all that kind of stuff too. So
Hmm.
I'm just waiting for my EIA to come through, and then that way I'll have money for stamps. It'll all
Nice.
be snail mail. So,
Yeah.
but other than that, yeah, we can just move on.
So we were talking before we came online about demonologists, how you can get like a demonologist degree or whatever, or certification,
Oh,
whatever it
like,
is,
yeah.
um, online, and how like anybody can get that, and not always a good thing. Just because, as you were saying when we were just before we came on, it's not good for people who might have some kind of pre-existing psychological issues.
Yep. Absolutely. There are fugazi sites out there. Fugazi means fake. I use that term a lot for some reason. I don't know. Watch too many mob movies, I guess. But fugazi, I know enough Italian. Fugazi means fake, and there's people out there that claim that they can give you a doctorate in demonology, and you take a course or whatever over the internet and you answer some questions, and then they give you a nice handy dandy certificate that you print up on your own computer
Hmm.
and walk around with, and now you're a demonologist.
Yeah.
And even myself, I am not a 100%, bona fide, demonologist. I'm not. I'm an amateur demonologist. And I actually need to change that where what it says there, because I am a parapsychologist, but I'm an amateur demonologist because I don't have a doctorate. I don't have a doctorate in mental health
Hmm.
or health in general, to where I could be a prescribing physician or a prescribing therapist. Because in Canada, you need both. You can't just be a PhD like in America. I'm pretty sure a PhD is good enough for you to write scripts for certain meds. Whereas
Hmm.
in Canada, you need both. If you're going to be a therapist and prescribe meds, you need a medical doctorate as well. So
Yeah.
that's two doctorates. And what a lot of people don't know is that a true demonologist is actually, and a lot of people might disagree with me here, but true demonologists have actual abilities. An actual demonologist has some abilities as to being able to speak with these entities and that, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I'm not going to say psychic, but psychic like abilities. And I know Ed and Lorraine Warren,
Hi,
Lorraine
Anthony.
had psychic
Anthony Cox
abilities.
just joined the chat. I just saying hi to Anthony there. How are you doing today?
Hi, Anthony, how's it going? And so yeah. Anyways, so why this really this bothers me, is sticks in my craw, is because there's some interviews out there, and I have such a terrible memory that I actually have to write down my girlfriend's birthday and ask
Oh
her,
my
"When's your
gosh.
birthday?" Is it just so that I have the right day, and my memory is so bad. And so, anyways, I can't remember what this lady's name is, but she was the one I was watching these. interviews with, and she talks about the danger of dealing with these people because they honestly just, they know what a paranormal investigator would know, and they don't just come in and provoke whatever is in the house, but they provoke anything dark, and they blame it and it right away anything on, this kid is possessed, and usually they always attach these demons to the young girls. So it's usually the victims are 15-year-old females.
Hmm.
There's been a couple of male victims, but here's the horrid nature of this, guys, is that you have somebody that you are paying money to and you trust is the real thing, and they talk to you on the phone and they mention a few things like, that pique what you need, and then you bring them in, and really they're just glorified paranormal investigators with a certificate that they put in a nice frame for y'all.
Yeah.
And then they tell your 15-year-old daughter to her face, they don't, like an actual demonologist would, take the parents off to the side and say, I believe that the entity here is after your daughter. So what you're going to need to do is not let her be alone. It went off again. Just letting
Oh,
you
did
know,
it?
it went. So not letting the entity, like not letting your daughter be left alone in the house at any point. You guys need to all move to one room, because when you're having, like what happened with when I was talking about the haunting in Connecticut there, in the documentary, they mentioned how they all had to move into one room because it stopped them from being isolated in the house to be attacked by, the demon that was in the home. Because if you're all together, it takes a lot more energy to attack everybody or
Hmm.
put everybody into a psychic sleep and just attack one person.
Well,
And
usually
so
usually they will just pick one person out of the group to go after.
exactly. And then so what's going on is that you have these men, and they'll be like, instead of taking the parents out of the room and saying, you got to make sure that she's not isolated from you. She's got to be with you guys all the time. She needs to be with somebody all the time, buddy system all the time. You know what I mean? Because if it's isolating her, that's when it's going to come after her the worst. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like try and keep her with you at all times. And then, say the prayers that you have to say, have people over for prayers, protection prayers, all that kind of stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Tiffany's saying
And,
that she's seen that documentary. I'm not sure what it's called.
oh, it's called a haunting in Connecticut from the Discovery
Right.
Channel.
That
Yeah.
was it.
And then so anyways, that's what you would do, is you would make sure that she never got isolated in the home so that nothing could come after her. And you would want to take the family to the side and let them know this, that it's possible that it's coming after your daughter. Okay, it's very
Yeah.
possible. And so we really need to be careful here because she is a budding child, you know what I mean? And all
Yeah.
this stuff. Like, she's a young girl, a young mind, you know what I mean? Our brains don't fully develop until we're 25, 26 years old.
That's right. They
And
don't.
so, it's like she's still got hormones and everything running through her and everything. So, but instead they tell these kids to their faces. And so now you've got these cases of suicide because one girl, like I said, she burnt herself up. She committed suicide by setting herself on fire, which is bloody horrible, and it scares the hell out of me.
Hmm.
And other girls committed suicide in other ways because they felt if they died, then the demon would no longer have an interest in the family. And by them taking their own lives, they were, sacrificing themselves to save their family. And here and then the family gets an actual investigation, and they find out that there was never a demon in the first place. And, it could just be a regular spirit, or there's nothing there at all. And these people are making money off of you. There was one male that killed himself with a gunshot. So he had taken a shotgun, I
Hmm.
guess, and he pulled the trigger with his toe and shot himself in the head.
Oh my gosh.
And so, yeah, and these are, 14 to 17 year old
Hmm.
year old children. They're still kids. And I know if there are any, I don't know how many is in chat right now, just if it's just Anthony still or,
We've
but
got
if
Anthony here. If
anybody,
there's anyone else here, we'd like to hear from you. Anthony actually just asked a question in the chat. He wants to know, do you both believe that we are all one?
um, like linked together, you mean? All one is in linked together? Like, how do you mean?
Yeah. I
How?
believe that we're all part of the same energy system, that we all feed into that. That's where my belief in that goes.
I have a belief that Sylvia Brown actually started. And that's the whole life map situation, where you actually sit down when you're still in the in heaven or wherever, and it's called the Hall of Records. And you sit down, and I've actually sat down with your spirit in the Hall of Records. And while we were planning our lives, we planned to meet each other.
Okay.
And like, so it's
Yeah.
like that's how spirits learn and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
certain spirits like actually want to feel what it's like to be murdered, or they want to, because that's
Right.
controversial. That's where the controversy exists. Because like, why would anybody choose to be murdered or
Right.
raped or that kind of thing? So
So, John, Anthony just wrote in chat here. I believe that spirits, as well as you both, that we are all different aspects of God.
oh wow, well I can definitely see where you're coming from, and I can probably definitely agree with that because God created the heavens and the earth. And he created us in his image.
Mhm.
So I could, we're definitely linked through God. I mean, I don't like to get into it too much because I am a spiritual person. Like I am a Christian. I believe in the teachings of the Bible. But, I'm not a big preacher. So I don't always do preachy type stuff, because I don't want people to,
Yeah,
get
and
the wrong
Anthony, and
idea.
anyone else who's watching, I just read the chat here for John because he doesn't actually have the chat
Yeah,
for
I can't see
himself
the
here.
chat. So,
So
yeah.
Anthony just said that he loves Sylvia Brown. So
Me too. Some people say that she's not legit, but I believe she is. So, and there's always going to be detractors, and there's always, so
you're
I
gonna
don't
get
know.
that anywhere that we're with anyone, though.
Exactly. I mean, some people swear Alex Jones is a, disinfo guy and a shill, and I don't know. Who knows? But I know that there's levels of truth that exist, and
Hmm.
Alex Jones is one of those layers of the onion of truth.
Yeah, I
Do
agree
I
with you on
believe
that one.
he's Bill Hicks, the comic Bill Hicks? No, I don't. That's one conspiracy I refuse to entertain.
Yeah.
Alex Jones being Bill Hicks. Joe Rogan asked him that on the 9/11 one, I think.
Oh
Asked him,
yeah.
"Are you Bill Hicks?" And he was like, "No, of course not." And
Yes.
I don't
Silly
know.
question, really.
Alex Jones was lucky, though. I mean, literally, his supplements and then donations paid for
Hmm.
his divorce.
Oh wow.
The
Did not
money
know that.
bomb that he had, it was over like $1 million, and it all went to his ex-wife.
Wow.
And then people said he divorced her because he started talking bad about Judaism. And then so he divorced her because he didn't want his audience to see that he was a Jewish girl.
Mm.
And being Jewish American is a lot different than being, an Israeli from over in Israel who's a Zionist. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck, and I don't really care, but it's just, I've always found that funny to bring up that,
Mhm.
people think that way.
Yeah.
And they're that crazy to think that way, that, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, because I talked with a lot of alt right people in the past, and they were always saying Alex Jones is a shill. Art Bell was a shill because he would get threatened and go into hiding. And I mean, if you're getting threatened by the government, you'd probably want to hide too. So I don't know, but and then that's why he had Nori and the others take over his channel. So
Getting back to that topic that we're on,
yes, sir.
Anthony's just written here. I think spiritually we all know the truth. We just don't remember all of it. That to me that makes a lot of sense because um, I've always believed myself that we're um, put on this earth to learn um, life lessons. Like we have to
Oh,
um,
absolutely.
learn to be human, kind of learn what being human is all about, and just learn different life lessons through being human that you can't learn in the spirit world. But
Absolutely.
we all know the truth. We just don't remember all of it, which is a good point as far as the spirit world is concerned. But I do believe there are some things that the reason for us being here is that we have a lot of things to learn. And Anthony's saying there,
Oh,
yes, I agree.
absolutely. I totally agree with that. Totally. 100% agree with that. Kind of everything happens for a reason, you know, and not everything happens for a reason, but a lot of the main things in our lives happen for a reason, you know?
Yeah. Experience. Yeah, exactly, Anthony. Experience. We have to gain some kind of experience. And, someone once asked me, what is the meaning of life? And a friend of mine, and I wrote back to him, I think the meaning of life is pretty much what I just explained there, was that we're on Earth to learn whatever we're supposed to learn. And then once we've learned that, then that's when our time is probably up, and that's when we pass on. There could be some truth to that. That was just my thinking at the time on that.
I've always said knowledge is power, you know? Like, we may not be millionaires with money, but a lot of us in the ITC field who even start communicating with entities, that's knowledge. You're learning something there. You're learning how to discern things. You're learning that patience takes virtue, you know, and passion in that. And so for the first two sessions, a lot of times you don't get nothing. It takes a while for them to sort of warm up to you or warm up to
Your
wherever
hand's
you
kind of
are.
on the mic there, John.
Oh, sorry about that. Anyways, it's just the way I hold the phone, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, I like that, Anthony. I like that. The meaning of life is to remember who we are. I like that one a lot.
I saw this. My girlfriend showed me this Facebook post, and it said, "What if when a baby comes out of a mother, like when a baby is born and it begins to cry, what if that is like you being reborn, as in reincarnated?" And for that moment, you're still crying about all the memories and everything that you've lost because you passed away. And then what happens is that you realize that it's okay because you're starting a whole new life again. And I was like, that's actually a really interesting idea, especially for reincarnationalists, like people who definitely believe in reincarnation. And I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying that the soul can choose when and where it wants to be incarnated. Like, we can choose when and where we'd like to be reborn. We could choose if we want to be reborn right after death, or if we would like to spend some time kind of, about our last life, and going through everything in like a life review kind of. So I found that was really interesting was, it does that happen in reincarnation? Is that baby crying because it still has the consciousness of the person who died before it just for a few seconds? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's
very interesting,
crying.
John, from Anthony Cox.
Good evening.
No, very interesting.
Oh, very interesting. Thanks, Anthony. I know it really did seem interesting to me, especially once I thought on it some more, so maybe that's the truth, who knows? I mean, we'll never know until we go through it ourselves. So, and Art Bell kind of seemed like a worms in, worms out, as he used to say, kind of guy. So, I don't think he really believed in the whole reincarnation type stuff, but I mean, I'm open to anything. All I hope for is that if there is a heaven, there is cannabis there, because God made the heavens and the earth, and cannabis grows natural in the wild, and that's my medicine. So, I hope it's there, and and that like there's gonna be some like really cool times, and it'll be like the way I've always pictured it, my happy place. A cabin, and out there with my dogs and just hanging out and relaxing and all that.
Yeah.
So that's what I pray for anyway.
So get on to the topic of the show here. You had a spirit box communication. I think it was with the 12587, the first one, and you were going to go upstairs. You told them that you were going to go upstairs and talk, try to communicate with Mr. Grant.
And that was with the PSB-7.
That's right. Oh, okay, that was the PSB-7. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to go up there, and you're going to try and communicate with Mr. Grant up there, and I think you got some kind of confirmation that
it said come up.
Yeah, it said come up, and so you went up there, but then when you did the session, you didn't get a lot. And
I didn't get a lot. I'm sorry, continue.
No, you go ahead, John.
Well, when I did the original session, I thought it said like darn it or something like that or whatever. You know what I mean? I didn't think it said come up. I didn't hear that. A lot of times when I'm doing these the sessions, I don't hear until afterwards.
That's very true.
The trick that Louis Fisk actually, he's taught me so much. And big shout out to Louis Fisk, brother. Much love here from Beyond and Beyond, and we love you. And man, get better soon. And you know, man, we all love you. So you know, but he was telling me when he had called me to let me know that when he goes, when you asked if you should go up, it said come up, not what you thought. And so I went back, and he said, if you especially on YouTube too, when you're going over anything of mine, if you want to annotate it, if you're going over anything of yours, Wes's, anything like that, go to your playback speed and click 0.5, so half speed, and you'll really hear the actual spirit boxes over the radios. Mm-hmm. And so he does that, and he's and I've been doing that lately, and so you catch a lot more. And so after, though, it had said come up, and I didn't really, hear, and I kept going. And then I'm like, do you want me to come up again? And then after, when I said again, that for the second time, do you want me to come up? Then it said no. Mm-hmm. But it was the first time it said come up and then devil right after. And then the second time I said, you want me to come up? And it said no. And it went Satan.
Really?
So both times it called me devil or Satan, or it just wanted, but I just think that was either Mr. Grant or something or somebody new that was here, because I did invite other spirits to come that, I do that a lot. Yeah. And so sometimes if I get jumped, that's why, because and that's why I always say you can't use my energy, so that way I won't get jumped. Yeah. So that's sometimes my downfall, is that I'll invite anything around here to come in and just to get evidence, Yeah. And but yeah, so I think whatever it was, I think it was something that was trying to be like a bully, I think it was either trying to be like devil, like Satan, like get in your face, or it was something trying to be like devil, Satan, like be afraid of me, kind of thing, whereas really they're a human spirit and there's nothing to be scared of. But whenever I hear those words, you always take pause for a moment, as going back to the whole demonology thing. I am an amateur demonologist, not a real demonologist like bona fide, but in the demonological world there, or in the world of demonology, if somebody claims to be possessed, and it went again, I think, to yellow, but I didn't quite see it that time. If you really are, then you do have powers to hold somebody in psychiatric observation. And in my opinion, and especially in any type of case of possession, you need to do that. You need not, you tell the person, it's not that I think you're crazy. Okay. I believe you. I want to believe you, but just to rule it out, we need to do like a sleep study. We need to, hold you here and make sure that everything's fine, especially because nowadays a lot of people are on psych meds, whether it's needed or not. The doctors get kickbacks for putting you on antidepressants. Yep. Do you feel blue? Here's some Celexa. Do you feel this way?
here's some of this stuff, Prozac, you know,
Yeah.
and I think they get kickbacks for
Yeah,
it, you
I
know,
think so too.
personally, and so you know, it's just easier to remedy this. Here's a small little dose of whatever, and you take this, and you'll feel all right in 3 weeks once it all finally kicks in your system. But you know, and then before that, you get the placebo effect. Whereas, and some people really do need the meds, and others don't, and they take them and they don't need them, and then you
Hmm.
wonder why when they go off them they flip out because they never needed them in the first place.
Hmm.
So they've
It
got
just
an
messes up their whole mind.
overabundance. Well, they've
Yeah.
got an overabundance because the majority of them are serotonin reuptake inhibitors, right? So what it does is they're getting a ton of serotonin pumped into their brain, and they're feeling great, 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 great all the time. And then all of a sudden, the doctor's like, "Well, you don't need these anymore," and they take them away, and you're left cold turkey. And that could be a partial explanation, like Joe Rogan says, about why people shoot things up. It's
Hmm.
because you run out of psych meds nowadays. You know, a lot of times you might not get a refill from your doctor,
Hmm.
and now you're out of these pills, and you feel moody, and you're this and that, and there's not enough serotonin going through you, and you kind of get mad, and you do something stupid, and it's because of all the pills floating around out there,
Hmm.
you know. And so you know, it's a fine line that we walk. And you know, if somebody comes and claims that, you know, or if you're a paranormal investigation person, you know, part of a team, and you go in and you think somebody might be possessed, you're going to want to have them have a mental evaluation done first, just for their own safety and also for your own safety, because you don't know what, you know, you need to make sure if they are on medications, what they are, what kind of medications they are, what they're being used for, to treat what type of disorder or disorders. And you know, there's nothing wrong with having a mental illness, but if you're being treated for schizophrenia and you're telling me that you have a demon inside of you, you know, I need to, you know, look at you clinically, and I need to look at you outside of the clinic, you know. So like, there's all sorts of factors. And if you're not an actual demonologist and you can't do any of this, or you don't have the contacts and you can't pick up a phone and contact a doctor to, you know, actually have the correct staff. Sorry.
So yeah, sorry. Right now, Jackie just popped in the chat, says hi. And Anthony just said, doctors' jobs are to keep you off balance. That's
In a
interesting.
lot of cases, in the old world of psychology, yeah, they like to keep you around and have you shuffle around doing the Haldol shuffle. You know what I mean? And crap like that. Haldol, and there was another one they used to hit you with in the behind, and that would make people drool. Haldol, and I can't remember that other one right now, but that was a crazy one. I never got it, but I saw people with it in town that would drool all over the place. And
Hmm.
but yeah, no. Some doctors in the learning universities, especially those types of hospitals where they have
Hmm.
learning doctors that are in there on rotation type thing, you see a lot more of that, because you know, like, they'll get told you should probably hold this person, it'll help you with your doctor career, you know, this
Yeah,
and
it's
that.
all about the money, drugs, drugs, and more drugs, says Jackie.
Yeah, it is. It's also about the money, and it's also about keeping that person on psychotropic drugs,
Hmm.
because psychotropic drugging is really dumbing down society.
Yeah,
Is you
mind
know, like,
control.
yeah, because I mean, I went to my doctor the other day. The squalene damage is going down to my foot. I'm getting
Hmm.
what feels like I'm being stabbed in the toes with needles all the time, and my foot's itching, numbing, burning. The same thing that's all through my leg with the squalene damage and my body. And he goes, "We can't prescribe pain medicine because I wanted short-term pain meds until my taxes are done, and hopefully I get a little bit of money, and then I can start
Hmm.
ordering medicinal cannabis again, right?"
Hmm.
And so he's like, you know, he just goes, "Right now, man, they won't even let me do that." He's like, and his official line is that we can't prescribe pain medication to people suffering with chronic pain.
Oh my God, makes so much sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and so unless you want Lyrica or Cymbalta, which are not proven to work, in some people they are, and but the majority of people that I know that are on Lyrica, Cymbalta, the THC one's called Nabalone. I was on that. I never got high from it. You know, it made me feel like I was on speed. All these new drugs make me feel like I'm on speed. Ergo, I can't take the new drugs because they always react, and I stay up for 40 hours, you know, scrubbing floors because it feels like I'm on some kind of a crazy, you know, speed binge, and I hate that feeling. So, you know, and so
Mind
he's like,
control and depopulation control, says Anthony. And
oh, yeah, yeah, it
it,
is very much, and we could go into I could go into a whole show about that.
yeah,
I could
it's a
go
world
into
gone crazy, says Jackie.
yeah. Hey Jackie, by the way, I love you and I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. But you know, yeah, it is. It's part of the mass depopulation and the mass, you know, making the world, you know, dumb. The mass dumbing down of society. And David Icke did a talk called "Agenda 21: The Plan to Kill You," and then he brings up the psychotropics there as well. And you know, it's just really sad that I mean, you know, the doctor just you know, my doctor, he was mad. Like, he was mad when he walked out of the room, but he wasn't angry at me. He was angry with the system because he knew that I was in that amount of pain that I did warrant the use of a stronger narcotic pain med for 60 days until my taxes are done through the mail with an accountant that does them. And then I'll get my return and then I'll go right off the meds again. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
he knows that. But because of the political climate and everything, and he also told me that they'll never cover medicinal cannabis. So I'll never have exceptional drug status or anything like that on there.
yeah. And
So he,
just Jackie's just saying hi back to you.
yeah, so I basically told him, I said, you might as well prescribe me a pistol with 2 bullets in case one misfires, you know, and a cyanide capsule. That's how I feel right now, you know. And I said, just let your own words stick with you. We don't prescribe pain medication to people suffering with chronic pain. So I'm like, what do I got to do? Go and get hit by a car? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
no
what, you
kidding.
know what? And he was like, no,
It's
it's
so
not.
stupid. You don't prescribe pain medication to people in
Yeah,
chronic pain. There is absolutely no sense in that at all.
yeah,
You think that it's like the first thing you would do is try to help somebody who's having a problem.
and that's exactly what he wanted to do, but he couldn't, and he was so mad. The look on his face, like, I was like, what are you mad at me for? You know, I'm not mad at you. He says, I'm mad at the system.
Yeah, and
He's
you know
like,
it's funny because Darlene just had a similar experience like that. She's got stomach problems, and she said, "I don't want to live like this. I want to be able to work. I
yeah,
want to be productive in my life. I'm so
yeah.
tired, sick and tired of being in pain all the
Sick and
time.
tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah, why can't you do something? Why can't I have surgery or something? Oh well, we can't do that unless it's like an
Yep.
extreme measure, and
Yeah.
we can't give you these pain medications to go home with,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And
Yeah.
yeah,
We
so
want.
she's just yesterday she went to the hospital, and this is what
Yeah.
they tell her. They can't do anything for her. Meanwhile, she's sitting at home on the bed all the time, and so this is kind of
In
hard for me
pain.
because I hate to see her like this, but
Yeah.
um, she's in so much pain, and it's just fucking ridiculous, really.
When
It's
you look at
ridiculous.
it, and I look at this, and it's like you know, my prospects are very slim. So unless they come up with something, you know what I mean, for a guy like me, where my body's been ravaged, and there's been a global lawsuit, and Canadians were not able to participate, you know, about this squalene damage and how the vaccine for the H1N1 and how they covered everything up after the first rounds hit people like me and stuff like that, and they covered it up. And then now there's physician assisted suicide in Canada. So that's what all of us sickies are going to be going to when we can't take it anymore, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And so, you know, and when I told my doctor that, I said, you know, well, that's what I'm going to be looking at. Then I mean, his eyes bulged out of his head, and he was like, "You're not going to do anything stupid, are you?" And I said, "No, I'm not. But I'm just
mm,
telling you, this is how I feel right now. You know, like when if I 20 years from now, if it's worse than this, fuck this. You know, you're going to be making me a drink, and I'll drink it and go to bed." And that's that. And, you know, and he was so angry when he left because he couldn't help me. And that because I just said you basically telling me that I'm fucked. Sorry for my language. You know what I?
Hmm.
But you're fucked. And there's nothing I can do right now. And so it's been tough living with it, but I'm gonna try to live the best I can anyway because I'm not done. I'm writing, and there's things that I want to finish, and there's still a life I want to try to have. So there's
Yeah.
no point in putting my tail between my legs and giving up. But you know what I mean? There's certain things you got to accept, and there's certain things where you can fight and you can say, fuck this. And you know what I mean? You got to pick your battles. So I'm gonna choose, I'm fighting mine. I don't want to go anywhere yet, so I ain't going no place.
Hmm.
And that's just the way I am. I'm a prick. But yeah, I know it sucks to see your partner in pain. Like,
Yeah, it
my
does.
girlfriend,
Yeah.
she has really bad scapular shoulder issues. And, when she comes home from work, sometimes she's crying. And I got to help her get in the bed and that so she can lay down and get her some of her medicine. And it's tough when you got to watch a loved one you care about go through a lot of pain issues,
It is. It
especially
is.
especially when you're sitting there in the hospital with her, and
It
they
is
can't
hard.
do
But yeah, I mean,
nothing
you're supposed
for
to be the
you.
person that helps them, that protects them, and it's
It,
something that you can't protect them from, and it's so hard, and you feel so
yeah,
hopeless. Your hands are tied, and
yeah, yeah.
it's yeah.
It's bullshit, frankly, is what it is. It's fucking bullshit. That's what it is. It's bullshit. Because, 10 years ago, I could call up a worker and say, I'm out of this, and bing, I go to the pharmacy and it's there. You know?
And this is
Anything.
what happens. This is what happens when you have guys sitting in their fucking ivory towers, just worried about one thing, which is lining their pockets,
Well,
and
and they're
not
also
actually caring
worried
about the
about,
masses.
and they're worried about the car fentanyl addicts for and all that kind of stuff, the fentanyl and all that stuff. So they're clamping down on everybody. Now, everybody has to suffer.
Yeah.
Until they get the addiction problem fixed, everybody's gonna suffer now.
Interesting
That's the
comment
way.
here from Balaya. I blame the stuff in food and the chemicals they spray.
The
A lot of that,
GMOs
a
in the
lot of that
food
could
and
have
that,
to, yeah.
and then whatever they spray in the air, she's talking about.
There are a lot more diseases that are going around, a lot more people who are getting diabetes and all
Oh
these other
yeah.
different diseases than there
Oh,
used to be about, Christ, you go back 20, 30 years ago, there wasn't as much as you see today. It's just
no,
absolutely ridiculous. It's like a
no.
pandemic almost.
Yes, it is. I mean, if you notice now, I mean, you can't. I mean, if you have a kid that's going to school, if they walk into the school with a peanut, like, I mean, God help your kid. Like, everything has to be non-peanut. I mean, on Halloween, everything is no peanut. I mean, when I grew up, maybe one in 100, or 200 kids in the school, maybe out of one would have a peanut allergy. Now
Yeah,
everybody's allergic. And
yeah.
I blame the damn vaccines. I blame them all. I blame all the vaccines.
Hmm.
I blame every single one of them because vaccines just cause super virulent strains of more colds. Like, when doctors are constantly prescribing antibiotics for cold, the original rhinovirus, is nothing to us. But
Yeah.
now it's mutated so many times because of antibiotics that if you went back in time and gave the original cold to somebody, they'd die because
Yeah.
it's been mutated from us taking so many antibiotics too.
And the thing is with these vaccines, with the flu shot you get every year, you miss a year, your immune system to any cold or any virus drops down to zero. So you
Yeah,
have to keep getting that flu shot and getting that flu
yeah,
shot because every time you every time you get it, your body, okay, it's like your body knows that or believes that it can't get sick.
yeah.
So your your immune system goes down, and so you don't have that flu shot. So you're automatically pretty
I'm
much going to get sick if you don't get it. So you're
I'm
stuck
always
getting that
sick.
vaccine over and over and over again. You don't have a choice
I'm
in it
always
anymore.
I'm always sick.
Yeah,
I've always got my sinuses are always filled up. I mean, anytime there's a flu or a cold going around, I'm the one that catches it right away.
yeah,
It's crazy. It's just this has been killing my immune system for 9 years. I got this shot in 2009. It's
hmm
2018.
yeah.
It'll be
9 years.
official years in December of this year.
Yeah,
But that's 9 years of my life that I've been in constant chronic pain.
And that's why people, I've thought about physician-assisted suicide, but I'm only 33 years old. When they look at that, they look at people that are really, really terminally ill, and they just want to save their families the trouble of all that. And if
Mhm.
that's what I come to, then I'll look at that 20 years down the line. But right now, I'm still maintaining hope that they might, I don't know, stem cell, I don't know, whatever, that everything will change. And to quote my old psychologist, Dr. Paul Barchett, the eggheads at the College of Physicians and Surgeons will change their mind about some of the pain medications,
Yeah,
and
Anthony Cox says he hasn't had a flu shot in about 30 years, and he hasn't had the flu in that time.
and since like we've been podcasting, I've been sick how many times? At least 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
so I'm sick a lot. I'm always getting
Yep.
these damn flus and shit, and I'm stuck in bed, and it sucks. And
Mhm.
it's all from that stupid vaccine. And I'm 1 in 100,000 to the populace that was going to experience all this.
Yeah.
And because socialized health is Canada, right? We've got socialized health care. When I signed on the dotted line, that omitted me from any participation in a lawsuit or anything. And like I said, GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, that used these original ones because everybody was getting sick so fast, they needed an adjunct booster that would push through the body fast. So they used squalene instead of aluminum or the traditional oh god, it's aluminum or mercury.
Right.
But
Hey, John, here's an
everybody,
interesting comment from Blaya. She feels like the Illuminatis and the higher ups are doing the process of elimination.
absolutely, that's something I believe the deep state is focusing on now as best they can because they're very close to being outed. I believe the deep state, the good guys are starting to take it back, and they're the deep state and the illuminists or the existentialists, as they're called, as they refer to themselves as. It's a very Germanic type of thing. And as I said in the last one, the Schwarzsana. Anyways, these guys are running and they're doing anything they can to continue their plans. But the good guys are starting to win. And don't count Trump. I mean, that guy might be going to jail, and I'm not gonna say Trump is the smartest man, or whatever, but everybody lay off Putin. Putin's a great man. Putin has said many times that the U.S.'s journalism and all that is completely controlled. He has said he's issued, and if you have checked out Russia today, Putin has issued many, 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 many edicts to North America,
Mhm.
the West, saying that there is no Iranian threat. What's going on is simply with Syria, there's a big pipeline they want to run through there. And that's why these attacks were done to give them a reason to go in there militarily and then fortify this pipeline and have it running out of there. So a lot of it's oil still, a lot of it, and then the U.S. has equipped, trained, funded Al Qaeda and also ISIS. That's a big Clinton thing. They're also harvesting organs, like I have, posted in that last one there. They had civilians digging tunnels, which civilians do, and you know what I mean, big enough for trucks to go through and that, and they're also the organ harvesting stuff's a big thing now with the deep state because
So
that's how
speaking of
they
deep
fund
state and everything, John, what do you think of Anonymous and the stuff that they do?
the QAnon stuff. Like that's one of the big things is QAnon knowing things like Julian Assange does, kind of like a WikiLeaks thing.
Mhm.
Nobody really knows who QAnon is or whatever, and I don't know who he is, but he's kind of been bang on about a lot of the stuff that's come out recently.
But the
So
actual group Anonymous, so what
the
do you think
actual
of that?
group Anonymous, they're so splintered now that, the original group, they're probably moved on to different things because
Mhm.
the original group is splintered and there's Anonymous in so many countries so that, Anonymous Canada puts something out and you don't know if that's like, you don't know who exactly it's from. So
Mhm.
you trust it's from Anonymous, but anybody could, rip off the footage of the guy just kind of making the head movements and the hand movements, you know what I mean? And then run it through a British kind of voice thing or whatever they do, and let the text roll with it audibly. So I honestly have no idea if, but whatever good they're doing, I've seen it over the internet recently. But as part of like deep web stuff, I got no idea. I'm out of the loop there. I don't want to risk my phone getting the tour for, yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't want to risk my phone, and honestly, you have to be so careful going on the deep web. I mean, you click one wrong link and you're taken to a child porn website, and then boom, you can go to jail for that. So, I mean, I'm just not knowledgeable enough on computers and that. So I wish I could answer that question better, and I wish I had more information regarding Anonymous, but I don't, and I'm sorry.
That's okay. So, you were wanting to talk about that session I did at the hospital, I think.
Yeah, that was really interesting on the grounds of the hospital there. That's an important session too, because hospitals, I think, especially in this case, it was a mental hospital, correct? Well,
Yeah. So the grounds that I was on, see, they built a new hospital about 5-6 years ago, and before they had that, they had two different facilities. There was one that was called the Nichols Building, which was a mental facility, and then they had the other hospital just a few yards away. So where I was doing my session was on the grounds of the mental hospital part.
you gotta wonder how many souls were walking around there. I mean, the wind made it a little challenging to hear some of the stuff, but I mean, session did get some good hits.
Yeah, well, as soon as I took that K2 out, it just went wild.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I went all the way to red in many places there. So.
yeah.
What do you call it? Like I said, next time with the I can't remember who was saying they were doing that, but next time with the wire with your mic, just put a little headphone thing over top of it. Yeah, and apparently that'll help filter out the wind a little bit more. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of wind, so you didn't really get any EVP stuff. But if you did, you wouldn't really. It would be hard to hear so
Yeah, I'll
hard.
try
But
that with the headphone. Speaking of spirit boxes, we both have our spirit boxes here today. I guess
yeah.
we're going to see if we can get anything to come out from your side onto my side, and then we're going to do the opposite with you. So I've got my PSP 7 here today, so we're going to try that.
Yeah.
And I'll just turn it on here. We'll turn it off and turn it back on. And now I've got it in magnitude mode at the moment.
As close to it as you can get anyway.
Yeah. So a lot of you will be aware of magnitude magnitude mode, sorry.
And we start with order of magnitude.
Yeah. So that's just kind of like a quieter mode on. And let me know if you guys can hear that. Anthony, before he did that, he said, guys, let's do a live session and ask the spirits about the living things we were talking about. The things we were talking about. Maybe that's an idea. Is the government trying to do depopulation control? Not really getting anything out of it right now.
Any spirits over there that want to communicate with us?
And let me know if you guys can hear it.
Who's been turning the K2 yellow all night there?
If it doesn't work on AM, I'll switch it over to FM.
Can you give me your name, please?
try something here. Put in spout instead of speaker. See if we
Yeah,
can
you
get
did.
that way.
There you go. If anybody in the chat wants to ask a question for the Spirit Box, please write it down below in all caps, and then Wes can read it out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can hear it, Anthony? Okay, that's good. Can't actually see the spirit box right now just because I have to put it by my computer where the speaker is. They're not getting a lot on AM, so I'm going to switch it over to FM.
Yeah. Holy, what? Your thing, it went to 2. It went 2 yellows.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it added an extra light, so it went 1 green, yellow, yellow. And you said you were going to switch it to FM.
Oh, here we go.
Is it easier for you to communicate on FM? Is that why you indicated on the K2?
Devil.
Oh. What's your name, Spirit?
Anthony. Spirits, we have questions. Can you help us? And if you guys hear a response, can you please put in the chat for me? Because it's hard for me to hear with my headphones on and the radio there. John, if you hear something as well, of course.
Yeah. Can you make the K2 light up again?
Well, I'm not getting a lot on my end, Anthony.
No, I'm not hearing a lot, no. Spirit, would you be so kind as to identify yourself, please? Speak into that little red device there, that little red dot. Did you hear that? F you.
I heard
that. You, did you? Oh, that one was radio. Are you a male spirit? Just say yes or no.
If you're a male spirit, just say yes or no. Wyatt says she heard F you.
Yeah, I heard that one as well.
Who has
Mr.
to make
Grant?
tonight?
Mr. Grant, were you transmitted into Wes's house?
Devil.
Devil, yeah, I heard so, yeah. What?
King size.
King sized? You heard king sized?
Yeah.
What size are the cigarettes you're smoking?
I don't know. King size.
Yeah. There you go.
What's the government's objective, asks Anthony.
Well, they're Does he mean to ask the spirit box?
Yes.
Yes, ask the spirit box.
I think that conflicts with their travel. Money back.
That's definitely the government's objective is money. What is the deep state's objective?
John just asked, what is the deep state's objective? Smoke.
Do you need a cigarette, entity? Oh, it blinked once again.
Shut up. Something system maybe? Your night is their day, says Brian. What, John, do you want me to shut mine off and you try yours?
Yeah, sure. Make sure my speaker is working here.
Alright, so I'll start mine off here. Let John go.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna go and stay on AM for first, and then we'll go to FM. All right, so mine's running, and I got my 808 right here. Can you hear that?
You all know that government broken down means mind control from Anthony.
Are there any spirits here that wish to communicate right now?
If any spirits on my side want to, or do you want any spirits on my side on your side, John? I should ask first.
Sure.
Okay, if any spirits on my side want to go over to John's place there.
Look over to my side, you're more than welcome. You're just not welcome to stay and be malicious.
So John says you can go over, but you're not welcome to stay or be malicious. So if anybody from my side who's here wants to communicate and say their names to John.
I heard demon just now. Help. I just heard help.
Yeah, I heard that.
How can we help you? How can we help you, spirit? I'm not sure what that one said. What kind of help do you need? What kind of help do you need?
Spirits, if you need help, can you please tell us what you'd like help with?
Can you please tell us what you'd like help with, spirit? Do you need help crossing over?
Anthony says, hello, spirits.
Anthony says hello, spirits.
Elias says hey.
Roll.
Elias says hey. What can I do for you, spirits, tonight?
Did I hear dead there?
Yeah, I think so. I'm just trying to position this so the best way you can hear it.
That's very true, Bly. You can't help them cross over there in the abyss for a reason.
There we go. Are any of you trying to reach out to us from the abyss? I just heard no.
Hmm.
So you're not in the abyss? I'm going to switch to FM. My sweep rate's at 200. I'm going to switch to FM now.
And just to know, we're both using the sweep rate of 200 there.
Let's see here. Oh, it went to 250. Turn that volume down a bit while I'm friggin' setting this thing again now. 2K, now turn off, turn on, turn off, turn on, sweep. There, that's about as close as I could get it. 2 magnitude again. Now I'm on FM.
Laya, I think she said she heard dance.
I'm trying to get this thing. Here we go. It's really quiet. Let's see here. Is that even audible?
I can hear it.
Yeah?
I'm not hearing anything come through, but I can hear it sweeping through.
Is there any spirits that want to come through here?
Oh, well, I just said dance because of the music.
I thought I heard a voice, but it's really quiet. Oh, did you hear that?
Heard something, can't quite make it out.
Yeah, it was radio. Are you guys warming up for us? Can you make that K2 meter in the corner move? And if so, can you say yes or no? I thought I heard yes. Can you double?
If you can make that K2 go off, just to prove that you're around.
Yeah. If you really said yes, will you say yes again?
I think Jackie heard help, and
Help.
also yes.
So you need help with making the K2 move? I thought I just heard Jackie in a sing-song voice.
Belias says hug spirits.
Oh, a spirit wants a hug. Come over, give me a hug.
Belias says love you.
Who said that?
Belia.
Elia. Love you too, Elia.
Might have been talking to the spirits there.
That's okay. I love all our listeners. You guys are all awesome. Our chatters.
Yeah.
Without our audience, man, we wouldn't be here. We love you guys.
We do. Anthony says, can you say my name? Spirits, can you say Anthony's name?
Oh, it just went off too. It's blinking. It blinked like 3 or 4 times. Strong. Can you guys say Anthony?
I saw that. I saw that. Did you guys see that K2 go off?
Is any spirits in the home? Can you guys say Anthony for me? I heard we can, I think.
Yeah, I think I heard that too.
Can you please say it then? Say Anthony? Should I switch back to AM?
If you wanted, John.
I was
think
wondering
we're
if
getting stuck
they
with
would
this.
say yes. So let's see here. Switch back to AM quick.
Okay, Jackie.
AM, FM. There we go. It's a little bit louder in AM, I've noticed. Can you say Anthony?
I heard yeah, I think. Yeah, it's funny. Can you say this? Yeah. Do they do it though?
Will you say the word Anthony? Will you say the name Anthony? Is it too many syllables?
We are from Canada.
We are Canadian.
Okay,
Come on, you guys.
please say Anthony or Angel, says Anthony.
Please say Anthony or Angel. All right, one more time, guys. That little red light right there. Can you speak into it? Say Angel for me. I'm not sure if I just heard it or not.
I didn't.
Sorry, itchy nose right here.
Uh,
Mr. Grant, are you here? I'm gonna turn the volume up on this too.
Laia says you are love spirits. Yeah, the thing with the PSP7 is you can't turn the volume up while it's sweeping.
Oh, I can't? Okay.
No.
All right. There we go. There we go. Can you say the word it named Anthony, please, or Angel? Is there anybody here at all?
I heard John.
Yeah. Well, I know that I'm here.
I hope so.
I heard it again. Can you say Angel? Ooh.
That sounds like a yes.
Art.
Heart.
Art.
Okay.
Can you give me your name?
Why?
It almost sounded like a British accent, too. That could be me, though. Is there any way that you could make the K2 meter flash again?
Yeah, if you want to make the K2 meter flash, hard for people to see it while you're on, but if you want to make the K2 meter flash, you just need to approach it. It's not going to hurt you in any way. It's just another verification that you exist and that you're around.
Yeah, we just want to verify that we are talking to a spirit, please. For what? Well, to verify that you are a person who's passed on and you're no longer living.
Sure.
Yep. Sir, if you're a non-malevolent spirit, would you please give us your name? Even if you are malevolent? Can you tell me why you're in my home? Ooh.
What was that?
I've had that voice come across before. That's Mr. Grant.
If Mr. Grant is in the room, please say your name.
Mr. Grant, if you're in the room, please say your name. That was a dark one, but I couldn't make it out. Mr. Grant,
Did that say here?
if you're here, can you just say here? I'm here?
Leave.
I heard leave.
Yeah. Heard that too.
Mr. Grant, I'm not going anywhere, and we've been over this.
Why do you want John to leave?
Did you hear that? It said devil again. It said sure.
Mr. Grant, why do you want John to leave?
Why do you want me to leave, Mr. Grant? Why do you want me to leave?
We.
So there's more than one of you that wants me out of here.
How many spirits are there?
How many spirits are there?
Did I hear 5? If there are 5 spirits there, can you please say 5 again? If that's what I heard.
Can you say 5 again? Niggas just said no.
Says backs. They said back.
Back. What do you mean? Because my back is so itchy, spirits? I have a rash on my back. I'm not even lying to you.
Wow. Oh, Fly is just saying that she was back.
Stress rash on my back because of you guys?
No.
Now, if there's we, how many of you are here? I heard like son or something. Are you trying to say 7? Yeah. That could just be me, though.
All right, spirits. I've got the K2 in my hand right now. If there's a 1 spirit, light up.
If
Two
there's only
spirits.
one spirit, light up the K2.
There's 2 spirits, light up.
Light 2 lights.
If there's 3 spirits, light up.
Oh, 1, 2. It went it went yellow, then green.
Is there 3 spirits? Wow.
It just said light. Can you light it up again?
Anthony says, might be my mom. If this is Anthony's mom, can you please tell us? Say mom.
If this is Anthony's mom, please say mom. I heard something you. I heard, damn it.
Did I hear mom there?
Yeah, it was either mom or John. Like mom, you know?
Yeah. Can you please repeat that?
Can you please repeat that, Spirit?
Box. Referring to the spirit box, maybe?
Nope. I don't know, that was Hunter or something?
Back.
Oh, okay, again.
Jackie's back.
Oh,
Welcome back, Jackie.
welcome back, Jax. Thanks for staying up so late.
Yeah, we're having a late one tonight just because I had to work
Yeah.
today.
All right, spirits, can you please light up the K2? If there's 3 spirits, light 3 lights.
Spirits, if there are 3 spirits, can you please light 3 lights on the K2 meter?
I think I heard him say we did. Please do it again. Can you please light that K2 up again?
Spirits, can you please light up this K2 again?
No.
No?
No, I don't. I think he said no.
I heard no.
Why won't? Oh, there it is. It just did it. It lit up 3 lights. Will you light it up again, please?
Spirits, can you please light up this K2 meter again?
Sure.
Sure? Okay. Please.
Please light it up. All the way to red.
Yes, that's right. The lights. As hard. Approach it. Don't worry about touching me.
Did
or
you just
anything.
hear that little girl's voice that went, Dad?
Yeah.
How many of you are here now?
Nobody's leaving. Goliath says,
Oh.
I summon thee.
I summoned you.
Evil. 3. 3 what?
3 what? Can you make the K2 lights go all the way to red?
Spirits, just approach the K2 meter that I have in my hand here. I'm going to sit back a little bit. And so that you have no more room to approach. And if you can, I want you to light up this K2 meter. So all I have to do is approach my hand here. This black device in my hand just lets us know of your presence. Oh, I don't see it going off right now, so.
Not yet. No, it's not. It will. Oh, it just totally went off, and it's staying on
Oh,
yellow.
look at that. How about that? Is it still going there?
It lit it up all the way, though. That was the thing. It lit it up all the way. That was awesome. Thank you so much, spirits. Can you do that again?
Unfortunately, we can't see everything that John's seen there on the live video. But the audio goes to yours. So
Yeah, you guys will have to wait for the playback. Once we're done streaming, just come to this part. Can you guys do it one more time for me,
can
please?
you guys do that one more time for me, just so that the people who are watching can see that?
You did. It said sure, I think. You did
All
a
right,
great
good.
job,
So-
guys. One more time.
So one more time, spirits, if you can make this go off for me, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for participating and taking part. We really
I am so grateful to you guys.
just make that go off for us again.
And also for
Red,
anybody.
yes, you
Oh,
can
there
make
it did.
it
It went. It went. It's
If you
going.
make it go to red.
They
that'd
did.
be
They
awesome.
shot. Yeah, it's up. Thanks, guys. I think we got confirmation, bro, because they just did it again.
Oh yeah, I saw that now. I saw it on the
Yeah.
replay there. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much, spirits.
And Jackie says that she heard spirit.
Thank
That's
you so
awesome.
much,
Thank you
guys.
so much, spirit. I'm gonna put this away now. I'll put it right here. If you want to make it go off at all, you can. I just look
Oh,
at
there it is.
that.
Yeah,
Oh my
look at that,
God.
man.
Wow, look at that. Look at that, guys. Isn't that amazing?
I'm in
Wow.
Manitoba. He's all the way in Ontario. We're like 1,000 miles from each other.
Yeah, it would take me 2.5 days to get to where John is, and the communication we're getting here between two different places is just absolutely amazing.
This is a moment for Beyond the Beyond. We haven't done this yet, so
No, this is pretty cool.
this is big for us, man. Is there any questions that the chat might want the spirit box to answer before I put it away, or?
Yeah, any questions you guys have, just throw it in the chat there. Anything you have for the spirits? Belaya, you are not hated. Not at all. Oh, did you put a question there? Ask the spirits if they feel loved by us, says Jackie.
Do you feel loved by us, spirits? Do you feel loved by us?
Yes.
Yes. Well, we always try to be respectful and thankful of you spirits giving us answers into something that we can't understand yet. So definitely always have to try and show respect.
Absolutely. Elias says, I hate the spirits.
He says, what?
Elias says, this is weird. I love. Can you say love spirits, says Jackie. Anthony says, love and light spirits.
Can you spirits say love and light?
I love the spirits. Is that what you're trying to say, Blaya? It said, I hate spirits, so it's... Go.
It just said, yeah, when I said, can you say love and light? I think it's just a ghost. Can you
Elias
spirits
says, I love my
say,
spirits. That's weird. It said, I hate spirits.
can you spirits say love and light?
John.
It's saying John.
You know
What?
me to
How
say,
can I
okay,
help you?
autocorrect or something.
How can I help you, spirits? Tell me how I can help you.
Guys, I'll be right back. John, if you can just continue with this.
Yeah, I'll just keep it going, yeah. Alright, is there any way you spirits can make that K2 go off one more time while Wes is in the bathroom? That'd be record breaking. Come on, can you make that thing light up?
Yeah.
Yeah? Could you please do it? Okay, spirits, come on, you know you can do this. While Wes is not in the room, get that thing to light up. I'm sorry, you chatters, I can't see anything that you're saying. It really sucks, I wish I could. Definite shout out to all you guys. Love you very much. And I'm glad you're here witnessing this live experiment. I've seen other people do it, but, you know, I've never did this over a podcast before, so. All right, you strong spirits, can you guys reach out one more time with your energy and touch that K2 meter and make it spike? One last time. Do you have anything that you'd like to say before I close the session later? Do you have anything, any advice for us? Anything?
No.
Oh, there it went. It lighted up. It's lighting them up. And Wes ain't even in the room. I hope you guys are seeing this. This is awesome. Thank you, Spirit, so much. I'm pretty sure down there the chatters will tell me if it didn't light up, but it looked to me like it lit up. Now, do you guys have any words of advice for us in the ITC community, guys? Spirits? Please continue, Spirit. Finish what you were saying. Best. It is. We are the best. You spirits are the best, really. The spirit. I think it got the damn thing to light up while you were out of the room for me.
Oh, that's...
Ask the chatters if they saw it. They'll be able to tell you. Or if I freaked out for nothing.
Wes is dancing. I was chasing the cat, Jackie. He kept meowing at me.
Is the cat being...
He's outside the door meowing at me constantly, and then I go downstairs, he's meowing.
Is the cat's meowing being a pain, spirits? Do you guys love cats, spirits?
Daddy, do you have a question for the spirits?
Nope. I heard multiple no's. So like the cat thought it and the radio waves just picked it up. Hey Kitty, right. Is this how you talk with us?
The camera only sees your end, so they wouldn't have seen the K2 light up, unfortunately.
Oh, it didn't see it?
No, because when one of us is talking, the audio, the camera automatically goes to that person.
Oh, I wish like in the playback it would have showed it.
Which is why when I'm asking the K2, I try to keep constantly talking so that it stays on my on my end.
Because I seen it light up.
Cat, says Jackie.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna be grateful, and I'm gonna say thanks to all the spirits that came out, and then I'm gonna close my session.
All right, thanks, spirits. And I just want to say, any spirits who do come through, you're not allowed to stay with me. You must go on to wherever you belong. You're not allowed to attach to me in any way. Thank you so much for communicating, however, and I do appreciate it. I do love and have much respect for you.
Yeah, and I too would like to say thank you to all the spirits that came out and showed themselves here, and that you do not have the permission to remain with Wes. You must come back home to me, especially yourself, Mr. Grant. And I have nothing but the most utmost respect for you, spirits. And I wish you guys to go back from whence you've come. And I thank you so much. And I hope you guys, if you need help, I will help you, or if you will find that help to transition over to the kingdom of heaven, the Lord Jesus Christ or the Creator, however you see it, and your salvation will lie there should you need it. So thank you all and much respect to every one of you, but none of you may stay with Wes. You must come home with me, and any spirits that have decided to stay with me but must belong to Wes must go back home as well. And I thank you all and give you much respect. So with that, I close this session and I am turning off my box. There we go. So that was pretty
Amen.
wicked.
Amen,
That
says
was
Jackie. Amen. That was pretty wicked. Not to try and blow our own horns here, but that was actually pretty amazing what happened there with the K2 going off and the spirit
absolutely
box going off.
100%. And then your cat, like, do you have any questions? Straight up, no. Like, you just hear it right away.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And that was just like a funny thing I was doing there. Teddy, do you
Yeah.
have any questions?
Yeah. No. Just want your love, Dad. Cats, that's all they want. Nothing but love. Love, food, and a dry place to shit. That's a cat for you.
And someone to pick that shit up.
Yeah, somebody to pick the poop up. That's right.
And Anthony says that was great. 2 thumbs up. Thank you so much. And thank
you so
Jackie
much,
says,
guys.
Thank you, Jackie.
Seriously, I feel like just super hyped because that's the first time I've done it like that,
Yeah, same
a
here.
real experiment type thing, and
Yeah.
we did it on our podcast together, so that just makes it even more special. And
Yeah, it's
wow.
something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I've never had the opportunity to do it. So it's great that I'm happy I was able to do that with you today, John.
I know, me too. I'm glad that we were using the same boxes basically and everything. Yours is just slightly different than mine, but other than that, we, same results.
Yeah, sorry, that's Darlene. She's messaging me.
My girlfriend is probably either watching Sons or sleeping downstairs. She's so tired. Oh.
Just 1 second here, guys. I'm just answering Darlene. I guess he must be busy because twice now you've come up and I tried to talk to him. Shh.
What?
Yeah, Darlene.
My girlfriend in the beginning had a little hard time accepting the fact that I was going to be on my phone a little bit more, but
oh, she's fine with it. She's just wondering why I'm going upstairs and not going in to talk to her and just explain to her that I'm on a podcast.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, my girlfriend's really cool. Just in the beginning, she was kind of like, "You're on your phone, but I know you're doing your podcast and you love it." Yeah. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going to stop podcasting." So,
Darlene to say, "Go to bed," says Jackie. Probably. Wes, you have to work tomorrow. You should be sleeping. And I'm thinking, I don't have to work till 2. I got lots of time. And then, of course, 12 o'clock will come around like, oh, I want to get up.
Yeah. No, my girlfriend's lucky. She had all weekend. She's got all weekend off. So.
And what did she say? And what did she say to me? She says, "Okay, no problem. Love you." See,
that's
so
what mine would say.
She's totally supportive of the podcast. She loves the fact that I'm doing it, that I've got something to do here.
Oh, I know. My girlfriend's totally happy that I'm doing something that makes me happy. So I'm really lucky that way. It was funny, though, just in the beginning, she was like, "I don't want to sound mean or anything because I love that you're doing something that makes you so happy."
All right, Anthony, I want to thank you for stopping by. Anthony says he's got to go to back to work, so you have a blessed night as well, Anthony. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us on your lunch break or your coffee break, brother. Thank you so much for stopping by, Anthony.
Jackie, Darlene is an amazing woman. She's a light of my life, and I don't know where I'd be without her.
Same with me and my girlfriend, Hope. Yeah, I don't know where I'd be without her.
Well, I think we had a great podcast there, John. I think we got some great
Some
verification from
awesome,
spirits.
awesome evidence, and I can't wait to go back and like listen to it anyways, you know what I mean? We'll watch it. And then like I said, I have a playlist where I am adding all the episodes as they come to the playlist, and it's on my channel. And then eventually I plan on, once we get a whole bunch of videos done, like I'd say at like number 10, I'm going to start downloading the audio versions,
Hmm.
and then I'll just kind of spiff them up with pictures and that, and then I'll eventually release the audio just for people who just want audio and no video kind of thing,
Right on.
just for the audio thing. Yeah. And
That's not
then
going to
that
work for the
way,
K2 one, but
no,
because you want
no.
to do that.
Unfortunately, they won't be able to see some of the experiments that we do, but it'll be like a quicker download for somebody who has like slower speed or,
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Jackie
yeah.
says, thanks, guys. Keep lighting the path. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Jackie.
thank you
Really
so much,
appreciate that.
Jackie. You know, we got nothing but love for you. You're para family,
Absolutely.
totally
Thank
para
you.
family.
All right. Well, guys, I think we're going to sign off now, John.
Yeah, I think we're going to sign off.
It's getting a little bit late here. It's almost, what time is it? Yeah, it's almost 2 o'clock here, and I got to.
Yep. Yeah, it's almost 1. That means 1 a.m. here. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But I had a great time. I had a great time. So,
So,
you know, it
Jackie,
was worth it.
Maya, Anthony, thank you all for taking part, for joining, and we'll see you on the next Beyond the Beyond.
Right on. See you next time, guys. Much love, y'all. Take care.
Much love here. All right, I'm still on here trying to. My computer's being weird, guys. So just bear with me a second here while I sign off. And again, thank you so much for joining us, and see you guys on the next one.